There we go.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Siris Rivas from Empowering Light Language, and I am getting the honor and privilege of speaking with Karla Johnston-Krase. She is amazing, and she kind of found me online, and we've just been chatting ever since. And we've been having these really cool conversations about children and empowerment and possibility and choice and parenting and just business. I mean, you name it, we've been talking about it. And given the things that I listed, you wouldn't think that they'd all necessarily overlap. And yet for us, they very much do. And there's more that keeps showing up. And so we thought that it might be a fun idea to start having these conversations on video so that you can benefit from some of the things that we've been realizing that are possible with children with different energetic tools, be it access consciousness tools, Reiki, crystals. There's so many different energetic modalities that we've been playing around with. We're not really going to limit ourselves in any way. We certainly haven't been limiting ourselves within our businesses and with the children that we love and work with. So I'll let her introduce herself really quick. But super, super excited about this possible series of conversations around children and energy.
Cool. Thanks, Siris. Yeah, my name is Karla Johnston-Krase, and I work through Discover Your Center. It's a business I created to really focus on inviting people to use really simple, practical self-care tools. And that has expanded over the years. And the way I see it is our self-care always contributes to our family care. And so that's really, I like tools that we can use as parents and that our kids pick up. And then it's really simple and easy. And I play in many areas as well: yoga, Ayurveda, essential oils, energetic modalities. And I love the tools of access consciousness too.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of found each other through that mutual network of access consciousness. Mm-hmm. And then pretty quickly we realized that we play with so many tools. And we've gone on this amazing journey and continue to be on this amazing journey, really discovering more and more of ourselves and realizing that these children that we work with and that we have in our lives are this amazing invitation for us to be more of who we truly be. So this week, let's just start with this week. Like, we both had some really interesting examples show up about how these tools can really be life-changing and for these kids. Tell me again what was going on with your daughter.
Sure. Well, we just finished the school year here, and my daughter was invited to retake an end of the year test. And as you can imagine, like in the school, there's a lot of anxiety around that. There's a lot of points of views and so much that pings around, even though at home we talk a lot about there is no test that defines you. No one else the measurements that may be out there. It's who you are. And this is a child who's 9 and is just so capable, of so many things. And
can I just point out how different that is, Karla? Like, already that you and your household are already being that point of view of the test doesn't define you. Like, how many parents do we know where they make those tests so significant, they buy the point of view from the schools, from administration and teachers and things, and it just trickles all down. It's from the country to the educational systems and the school districts, and then the admin, and then the teachers, and then down to the parents and things, that these tests are the be-all, end-all of who these kids are. And I'm not sure about you, but I remember when that wasn't the case, when we had a little bit of tests, but school was more about learning and playing than testing.
Right. Yeah, that was.
And so that I just want to acknowledge you for that I'm not sure if you get how different you are as a parent for not projecting that at your child. That's already a wonderful start.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, and that has started with so many other tools, right, around self-care and family care over the years. And but what I've come to realize more recently is the energy. So even if you look at what's going on in the energy, maybe teachers or parents or other people are talking about, let's not worry about the test. Let's not, spend too much time, yet underneath that you can feel it. And I think that the kids are so energetic that they sense the anxiety of kids and their families and even teachers, you know, like how might this be a measurement of the school and of the teachers. And even though the words are there, kids really pick up on so much. And I've noticed that, I've noticed that about my kids for many years, but it never ceases to amaze me how they can just pick up on what's going on. But anyway, so the night before the test, she asked me to run her bars, this energetic modality, access bars from Access Consciousness. And I said, sure. And as I was running her bars, she just started, it's a math test that she was going to retake. And she said, so I'm having a hard time. And she started talking through some problems. And it went from this sort of nervousness to a little bit more calm. And then she said, wait, can you have just a moment? Can I show you something? I said, sure. So I paused, she went, she got this piece of paper and she explained, like she was showing me something that gets confusing. And she said, so I felt like I got really nervous and all of a sudden I started guessing and I just stopped doing it. And I said, oh, okay, well, you know, what else could you choose in that? And because you know so much. And she reread the question and immediately she went, oh, I know that. Then she put the thing down and she had me run her bars again. And all of a sudden she said, okay, so I get it now. She goes, all those little voices right now that are telling me I can just let them go. And I went, yeah, you can. And all those little, you know, like, and how much is she aware of just everything else and everyone else? And, you know, feeling I can't, or this is too much, or I'm having to retake this, or, and I know that she knows so much. And her teacher was saying, the reason I'd like to invite you to retake it is because this doesn't reflect who I know you to be in the class and what you're capable of. And so for her in that moment, and that's what I think that the tools that just, and there are so many different ways that we can play with energy, but they have this capacity to really calm. And I see it as a way of calming the brain and calming the body and calming the nervous system and allowing everything to just have a little bit more space where you can have that awareness of, oh, that's not mine. Oh, here's another possibility. And in that moment, it was really fun. And she woke up the next morning, totally fine, made her own breakfast. That's one thing. She's 9. She loves to like cook her own eggs and everything on the stove and take care of everything. And I'm like, you're amazing.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And the other piece in what you said that I love is her knowing that she knows. Like the power of her acknowledging, I know that. Hey, and just having all of that muck, all of that fogginess of other people's points of views that she was aware of, that how amazing is it that she was able to even articulate like everyone else's voices, that she knew it wasn't hers. And a lot of us do. Like for the longest time, I was like, I feel like a container of other people's stuff. I knew that, but I didn't have the tools for how to empty out the container. And that's what this stuff does, is it empties out the container so you can have what you know faster and clearer and with maybe a little bit more fun, because, you know, learning's supposed to be fun and like life's supposed to be fun and my interesting point of view. And that was what showed up for me as well this week with this child that came to my bars class. I was co-facilitating an Access Bars class in Elgin, Illinois, this weekend, and one of the participants brought their 8-year-old daughter. So similar age to your daughter, a year difference. People are like, oh, it's okay to bring kids. Kids are free. 15 years and younger, free. And then the 16 and 17-year-olds are half price. They're such a contribution because they get this stuff so fast. They're willing to have this so fast. And they're such an invitation for us to know what we know. It's like, if anything, some of the kids are like, could you just get this already? Because I'm already there. Like, come on, catch up, mom. And so this girl, and that's kind of what this girl was saying sometimes with her mom in the class, funny enough, which was just cracking us up. She was just like, oh, I knew it was my mom. As soon as I heard snoring, I knew it was my mom because her mom had fallen asleep because she had gotten so relaxed while getting her bars run. And so she was just like, just really teasing her mom after a while. But in the beginning of the class, when she arrived, she was totally like hiding. She was covering herself in blankets. She was on the floor, didn't want to engage with anybody. And this mom was in total allowance, was just like, she's letting her be whatever she needed to be, didn't force her daughter to like interact with anyone, which I thought was wonderful. And then after the first exchange of the bar session, because we gift and receive twice in the class, she opened up and she kind of came out of the blanket and started dancing and started joking. And then she still didn't want to get her bars running. We're like, okay, cool. And I kept checking in with her every once in a while. I was like, let me know. It's totally your choice. It's your body. And then after lunch, after the second switch, she kept shifting even more, and she was starting to giggle, and I'm like, there you are. Hi. And then she was like, okay, I'd like to try it now. Can I try it? And so at that point, Surma had left because she's, wonderful and amazing and a creator of magnitude and had to fly to New York to facilitate classes in New York. So I continued on facilitating the class, and I started running this girl's bars. And she just kept giggling even more and kept like kind of like almost like flirting with the energy of the bars, and I was just like, how does it feel? She's like, it's okay, like this. And I was just like, this is too funny. And her little giggles, like every time she would giggle, you could perceive the energy shift in the room, and everyone was just smiling more. The adults were smiling. They stopped taking things so seriously. And there was some serious stuff. There were some big things coming up in the class. People were talking about abuse. They were talking about their childhood things. They were talking about relationships and money and business. And we were addressing all of that because these are tools, these classes. It's whatever you want it to be. It's like we can use these tools for anything. But this girl with her little giggles, it's almost like this energy would come up and the giggles were like popping it all, and like you would have more and more and more space. And these adults were willing to be just a little bit more joyful because of the invitation she was being, and be a little bit more willing to not judge themselves. Because, there's so many places where we like will choose to be like, oh, this is so hard, or I'm going to get this wrong. And she's like, I'm just going to be here. I'm just going to receive and whatever. And like, I'll just see what shows up. And she's like, this is kind of weird, but I feel like this is weird. This is weird. And she was saying that. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of weird and crazy and cool, huh? And she's like, yeah, it's cool and it's weird.
Yeah.
And excuse me. And it is cool and it is weird and it does work. And just to see her kind of be more of her over the course of this day was just such a gift to behold. And I was like, oh yeah, this is what's possible. Mm-hmm. This is what's possible for these kids and for us if we would be willing to choose it. Just love that.
I do too. And kids are fun. They're so fun because you're right. They get it so much faster. When I started learning the bars, I would let my kids choose. I would just say, hey, I'm going to this class. It's kind of strange. This is what it's about. And my first class, my oldest daughter chose it. The second, two of them chose it. And then I went on to become a facilitator. And when I was teaching a class later, my youngest, who had not been to a class, who I was talking about earlier, said, can I come to the class? And I said, definitely. And I said, do you want to participate? And she said, I don't know yet. And I said, all right, well, you just get to decide that day. And
I love that. 10-second living.
Yeah. She stuck it out the entire day and drifted in and out and around. And it was so clear though, like she probably uses these tools more than anyone in the family. She gets it. She plays with it. She has fun with it at home. She runs her sister's bars. She runs my bars. She'll let us run her bars. And yeah, like the other part of this is, so there's the hands-on modality, right, that we play with this energy, but there's so many questions, and the questions are so empowering for all of us. For me as a parent, when I'm in what I call this tug of war with my kid, and it's usually something that I think it should be one way and it's not happening that way. You said, to use these tools where you can change things faster, and that's it. Like I've had tools to do this before, but this creates change faster than anything else, because in that moment, I have something very tangible, very accessible, and all I have to do is choose it. And sometimes when I don't know, I actually just pause and I take a breath and I go, okay, what question could I ask? And what else can I choose? And when I do that, something shows up. Something shows up, either from me or just in the room or with my kids. And so I tell my kids too, when they go off to school, before testing, we always say, know what you know and know all that you know. And also that you're really aware. You are, you're a caring person, and you're always sensing what other people have around you. So sometimes I feel like they take it in, but then they feel like they have to hold it for others because they're so aware. So we talk about just having the awareness to release that. And I have one child who likes to put essential oils on. That's her reminder. And she's like, lets it go. I have another who carries a gemstone in her pocket. And they all, but infused in whatever they choose, are questions. And just tapping into, oh, I feel really worried right now. And they can ask, who does this belong to? And any of it that's not mine, I can let it go. And we talk about not throwing it back at anyone, but just letting it go, and you choose something else. And that lets others know that they can choose something else now or in the future.
Yeah.
And parents get stuck on this, like, well, how? What? I don't get how that happens. Kids get it. They get it, they try it, they play with it, and they see that it works. And they don't use it all the time the same way I don't use all the tools all the time.
It's just when it's required. Just like, you're not going to carry a hammer around all the time, but you're going to pick up the hammer when you need to nail a nail, like that. When you need to hammer a nail, that's fine. I love that so much, Karla. I love the empowering kids with these questions, so that they can actually, by asking a question, they can tap into their knowing and actually be willing to receive their knowing and themselves more, instead of holding on to all this stuff. That's just really beautiful. I love what you said about, know what you know and know all that you know. Like something like it just, I wish that I had these tools as a kid. And that's part of why I'm dedicating my life right now to empowering kids and families, because I'm speaking to and I'm undoing all the places as a child that I didn't have these tools. And that's one of the things that has been such a gift, is I recognize that my own inner child, that one from years ago that was really upset and that was dealing with so much stuff, like she's healing by what we're doing and what we're choosing today, and by what we're being in the world today. And if more and more kids could have these tools, I wonder what else would be possible.
Yeah.
So everyone who's watching this, if you could let us know what you think about some of the tools that we talked about in this video, if you'd like us to discuss any particular topic in the future, please, if there's a specific one, let us know. We will speak to that and more. We will continue these conversations because it's super fun.
It's fun. We've been doing it so often, all of a sudden we decided, well, why don't we put some of this out?
Yeah. And actually see if hopefully this has been a contribution to you. Let us know how it's been a contribution to you, and in what other ways we could be a contribution to you and your family and your children, or the children that you work with. And just thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and for playing with us for a little bit.
Yeah, super grateful. Just I've been feeling more and more like these tools, just what if they were more accessible and out into the world? I wish that I had them. My oldest is 14 years old now, but it's never too late. And I'm grateful for me, because I parent from a whole different place. I see my kids changing and using different tools that I never had as a kid either. And, what will that create in the future if more kids can just be themselves, and the adults in their life are willing to choose something to be that space for them. And and what I find as a parent, I'll just say, is that I'm doing a kids and parents intro to access bars later this afternoon. People choose it for their kids. And what they realize is, oh, I need this.
That's what happened with my mom.
Yeah.
She chose it all for us. She's, I'm going to do this for my kids. And then it was for her family. And then finally it was for her, because she realized that the more that she chose what was going to work for her, the more that she chose to have ease, joy, and glory, the more things that opened up for us as her children. We're creating more, we're being more, we're having more in all areas of our life, the more that she's been being more and having more and creating more. Yeah. And a lot of times parents, that definitely the parents that I work with, they think that it has to be first the kids and then them. And it's like, what if you could be that invitation to a greater life, to that ease, joy, and glory yourself? What would that create for your kids and for your family? So thank you, everyone. Yeah. And we'll send you some more videos soon. Have a wonderful day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And we'll talk soon. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.